She waits. The siren of the Irish Sea. For the brave, for the fearless, for the bold, seeking out their destiny. In the heart of every rider, her rhythm beats like a drum, the pulse of everything you trained for, of everything you've sacrificed and have become. And in the heart of every fan, she draws you in, pounding at your soul, injecting life through your veins, a desire born to your blood. You have one focus, one passion, one goal. And finally, you are with her. The wait comes to an end. A legacy before you. Electricity in the silence. Anticipation echoes through the air. You are not alone here. A band of brothers, of sisters, of warriors and friends. Because this is living and this is life. She is everything you expected. And the call of the road is upon you. Desire in your spirit. Thunder and lightning between your bones and your soul. This is the moment you've been waiting for. This is your moment. This is the Isle of Man TT.
G'day and welcome to another slow and steady video here on the channel. My name is KT and today is Biking Sunday, back with our part 2 here on the Isle of Man TT. Ride on the Edge 1. We discussed Ride on the Edge 2 and why I'm not covering that, and why we're not doing Ride on the Edge 3 because it doesn't feature England, Scotland, Wales and of course Ireland. It does feature Ireland on Ride on the Edge 3, but not on 1 and 2. And it was really interesting in the last part because we were talking about the laws of road racing here in the UK, and hence they have their own rules on the Isle of Man because they have their own government and everything there. So we're back and we're visiting Wales. So we're taking a look at a track called Super Hillside today. So let's dive into it a bit deeper, which is what we do here on Slow and Steady Gaming. In the TT Isle of Man Ride on the Edge series, the developers faced a unique design challenge while they beautifully recreated the massive 37.73 mile Snaefell Mountain Course using laser scanning. Having only that one track would make it very repetitive for a career mode. To flesh out the game, they created several fictional support sets around the UK to act as proving ground for the riders before they tackle the main event, also giving a nod to previous road racing before it was banned by the UK. One of the most famous and fictional layouts is the Welsh track Super Hillside. So I wasn't quite sure whether I should go for a 600cc or a 1000cc, and because this is a big open track, I figured we would go with the 1000, and why not go with the legendary British brand. The history of the Isle of Man TT and the Norton is it's just written in history books. If you look at the history books, Norton was the undisputed king of the island prior to the rise of the Japanese manufacturers. Now, we could do a huge deep dive into the Norton motorbikes and talk about it for maybe 20 minutes, but the camshaft engines in the 1930s introduced the overhead camshaft engines, and they had a featherbed frame in 1950, introduced by the revolutionary new chassis designed by the McCandless brothers, famously dubbed as the featherbed. Anyway, we're back on track. I'm doing a commentary over the top of this. This is an outlap of the Super Hillside, so we're just going to take our time, try and get used to this track before we set our hot lap here in Wales. There's often so much to cram into these commentary videos. There's a lot of history here, of course, but we're going to talk about the track. The Welsh track Super Hillside is a fictional road circuit set in the picturesque rolling hills of Wales. Don't let the beautiful scenery fool you though. It's built to match the brutal, unforgiving DNA of real-world road racing. It perfectly captures the feel of a road race, featuring narrow country lanes, stone walls, thick hedges and civilian road signs flashing past your helmet at 170 plus miles an hour. I remember, I think on my hot lap we get up over 200 miles an hour on this. True to its name, Hillside features dramatic, stomach-churning crests and drops. If you hit these hills with too much throttle, your front wheel will lift, leading to an instant instability or a spectacular crash. It mixes ultra-fast blind crest scrapes with sudden technical corners. Because the roads are narrow, there is zero margin for error. Clipping a curb or a grass bank will ultimately catapult your rider off the bike. So that's most of my commentary done. Let's take a look. Are we still on our outlap? Let's have a look. 170, 180. This is where you pick up over 200 miles an hour. 205. This is the first time I'm seeing it. Oh, almost 210 miles an hour there as we are. This looks like an outlap while I was reading all that information. So you have to bear with me. These are commentary videos over the top of just doing a couple of laps and seeing what I can put down. I gotta say, I think I can go quicker around here, and certainly the next circuit you're going to see, I think I can get it under 1 minute. But the 1000s make sense on this huge road. Coming around this back section, I think this is not far from the start straight now, and as after this far right hand side, right hand corner, forgive me, and then it really opens up on your fast lap. You can really hook up these next few bends before you start a fresh lap. So before we do our hot lap, we may as well talk about the tackling. Oh, it's worth looking at this, to be fair. So we've had our quick sight lap, if you like, on the Norton, sounding quite different to any other bikes out there. And here we are with our fastest lap as we hook up these corners as daring, as brave as I can, basically just believing in those corners, and you'll see that on the backside. But as I said, this is the fastest I can go right now. If I put a bit more time into it, checking this corner around here, the ghost has got me slightly. You need to go ever so careful when you come back onto this sort of separate part of the road, because there's a bump there, and if you come around too quickly you will fly off as we try and pin it. But I'm sure there's a left-hander around here that we cannot hold. We're flat through here, 160 miles an hour. We need to back off just for this slight kink in the road as we come through these trees, and then there's a dip here, and I've lost it a couple of times here as well. I think the ghost might lose it there, yeah. And managed to get this lap hooked up somewhat, taking it quite easy. You can hear the bike sort of on and off the throttle really. I should be far more committed to this, but actually here for the age of this game, it really does stand up quite well. So we're looking now at over 200 miles an hour as we get the bike lent over, well, about 198 I suppose. Just incredible speeds as I do grind that wall, and I wouldn't imagine we would fare well if this was real life, but this is a video game, of course. The sea on the right hand side, and this is where we absolutely pin the throttle over 200 miles an hour, 190, 195, 200, 205, get to 210, no, around 208 miles an hour. And then you really have to get on these brakes to get this stopped here. So I was being a little cautious. You can see that skid mark I've had before where I came off, but just trying, really to hook up this lap. And it's a tremendous game. It's a crazy event that goes on in the world and has done for over 100 years. Come around the back of this circuit. This is where I always get confused with the other part where we go absolutely pinning it round. You can get proper close to those bushes as well, as we've got the final right-hander before we really commit to these bends after we get that one under our belt. So now I believe this is part of the track where you just try and get brave with it. You can, if you hug that left, hug this right, there's another left, just try and stay on that throttle, and again, and it comes over the start straight line. And it's just all about bravery, isn't it? I was trying to get back on the brake there, but we ultimately did crash. But I call that a lap of 2.26.178. So we come on back to the Norton here, and I've got to say, what a wonderful piece of kit it really is. British engineering, of course. And yeah, I do love the history of bikes, and I'm just a bit of a nerd and a bit of a petrol head, and you know, I get to share that with you. So thanks for listening. So it makes sense now that we're going to go to like a closed circuit, that we choose a 600cc. I think it was a Triumph. I think I had to cut this video down because you have to do it within 20 minutes if you're doing a commentary over the top. I did see actually that, is it Joey Dunlop has the most titles around the Isle of Man TT. 26 races he's won. So here we are, we're going to do an outlap on this track. Again, set in Wales. Not sure why we're wearing BMW levers here, but it is a excuse the car in the background. It is actually a Triumph, I believe, Daytona, this bike, but sounding actually quite different, to be fair, just while I look up the details of this track. So I couldn't find anything on this track, to be fair. It's obviously just a fictional circuit, and a really sort of closed around, almost like a trading estate, if you like. Yeah, it takes maybe around a minute to go round, and we're just doing our sight map before we put in the really quick lap. It's almost like Wales got the short end of the stick. However, they've got one of the greatest tracks with the super hillside, which we did, which is a stonking track, to be fair, when you're racing these bikes around. But you know, we've also got England, Scotland and Wales on Ride on the Edge too. I may take a look at that down the road. I do find that the bike on that game does sway across the screen quite abruptly, and it's quite difficult to really lock in those tracks. But we will be coming next to Isle of Man Ride on the Edge 3, just to coincide it with the Isle of Man that's going on right now. And we'll be looking at the Irish tracks there, and we'll be doing a full chat around the mountain Snaefell 37-mile course, which we have done, I believe, is on the channel. Is that right? Did I do that one? I can't remember. So we'll be taking a look at that as well over the next week or two. So I think we'll be, is this at full chat now? I think it might be 70, 90 miles an hour. Yes, so we're going for it now. I think I set a time just over 1 minute on this track. But let me know what you think. You know, would you go back to revisit these games? Is the TT something that you do enjoy? And I think it's about time we get another one, to be honest with you. I think they're a fabulous series, and you know, especially now the physics of bikes are just getting better and better, graphics are getting better and better, and you know, it's absolutely bonkers speeds. Not so much on this one. We're down to like, what, 40 miles an hour, and then up to maybe, well, still going through these containers at like 80 miles an hour is still quite crazy. But you know, it's good fun, and I really do enjoy this series. And the game engine, of course, is the KT game engine. So what could be better with that? Is this the fastest lap we go for? I think I think that would be, especially coming around that corner. So now we're absolutely going for it, and yeah, this is definitely my fastest lap. I think I only put maybe 15 minutes or maybe 10 minutes into the this getting used to the circuit. It's but no, I appreciate you guys being here, man. You know, thank you. If you're not subscribed and you kind of like your bikes, then we're doing bike videos every single week. It's part of the schedule. Always goes out on a Sunday, as these corners are not bad. Really dangerous with those curbs right there as well. We come through these containers, we're up to 70, 80, 90, nearly 100 miles an hour through there, and then back onto the final straight as we come back, and then we pull over and have a look at our time. I reckon I can get under 1 minute on this track, but I think I'm like 101. Have a quick look as we pull it to a stop. but definitely a different sound with that 600, and always good to see. So I was actually a 104.6. So I guess that's it for this video this week on Biking Sunday. Thank you to all the virtual bikers out there. If you do like the biking videos that come out every Sunday, it means the world to me. If you are subscribed, thank you for being part of the SAS crew. It means the absolute world to me. If you're not subscribed, you're kind of like your trucks, bikes and horses, with Red Dead of course in the horses, then maybe subscribe. Be cool to have you here, part of the community. And a big shout out to the SAS crew members as well. I really appreciate you guys going the extra mile, and the members video comes out on every third Monday of the month. That's it from me. I will see you next week. I'm back next week, although I've been here this week. I'm actually away looking after my mum, but I'll be back next week with Trucking Tuesday, Wild West Wednesday, Trucking Thursday, of course Biking Sunday. I will see you on the next one. Take care of yourself. See you soon. Bye.